It's KFI AM 640, and you're listening to The Conway Show on demand on the iHeartRadio app. KFI AM 640, it is The Conway Show. All right, ding dong, it is Friday.
Woohoo!
That's right. If you got a crappy job, or you go to school, or I don't know, you just, you're not working. That's another, although that's not true. When you're unemployed, and I've been unemployed in the past, I'm sure I'll be there again. You hate weekends. You hate them because everybody has off during the week, everything to yourself. And then you feel so horrible on weekends because you realize you're unemployed and it's, you hate Saturday and you hate Sunday. But when you're working, you love Friday night. Friday night's the great night where you can go out and party and get your, get your drink on, or your weed, or snorting, or pills, or you're licking toads, whatever you're doing. You can do that on Friday and then recover all day Saturday. And so here it is. Here it is. It's Friday night. And Friday night was always, growing up, my favorite night of the week. School's out, 2:10, 2:30, or 3 o'clock, and your group of friends, you just hung out with them after school, then went out and, took some idiot, one of your buddies drove to Westwood, and you walked up and down the streets of Westwood, for 4 or 5 hours, looking to get some gals to notice you. They never did. And so you just drive home together. And that was Friday. And here it is. This is it. We made it to Friday. And we've got that big soccer game on Sunday. The Spain versus Argentina on Sunday. And that starts at noon. It's a noon start here on the West Coast, 3 o'clock on the East Coast. And that's going to be a world record breaking number. When Fox finally has the number, it's going to be astronomical. And, Fox never, ever in their wildest dreams thought that this World Cup would be as popular and as successful as it's been. Never in their wildest dreams did they think that they could get these numbers. The numbers are off the charts around the world. It is the biggest event. And the head of the FIFA today said this was the best World Cup in the history of World Cups. So that leads me to believe that they're going to bring it back. Why would you not bring it back to the United States? We're all set for it. All the stadiums are built. We have all different climates. We have 50 different states. You can put a couple of games in Mexico, a couple of games in Canada, and we're all set for it. Some countries are not. They have just one stadium or two stadiums, and you have to, an early morning game, a mid-morning game, afternoon, evening, and then a late game. You got to pile all these games into one or two arenas. Not here. This is land of plenty, man. We got a lot. We got a lot going on, including water mains that are breaking. And this WeHo West Hollywood flood is crazy. You can't imagine. I was watching news last night. I tape all the news programs. I heard two separate reporters. Two. And I don't remember what network. And I wouldn't say it anyway. I don't want to out them. But I heard two reporters say, we're standing here in West Hollywood, and where thousands of gallons of water are rushing down the street. I'm like, what? Thousands? We passed 1,000 in the first 10 seconds. That's not thousands. That's the news trying to water it down, so to speak, right? It's like not, they're always protecting the city of Los Angeles. They protect Mayor Bass. They protect the city council. They protect all these lunatics that run the city of LA. And so they water it down to, there's thousands of gallons of water rushing down the street. Unless the two reporters that did it are really, really dumb. That's also a possibility. But I'd like to give them benefit of the doubt that they are just lying instead of stupid. And I don't know if I would rather be called a liar or stupid. I think it's ding ding on that. I don't think you get the dong on that. But the reporters that said thousands of gallons of water rushing down the street, lying to you. And I don't know why they did it, but two different stations did it in Los Angeles, two of them. And I heard both of them by ears. I had to rewind it a little bit and listen again. thousands of gallons. That's not true. It's millions. All right, let's talk update here. Let's get an update on West Hollywood, on Sunset and Holloway. Yesterday, a big water main broke around 4 o'clock in the morning, and it lasted for 3 hours on a big, I don't know if they call it a trunk line or a main line, but it's a 36-inch pipe, and 100,000 gallons of water were leaking out of that pipe every minute. 100,000 gallons of water. And so let's find out what's going on. Let's get an update here. And then we got some people talking about it. It's also surveillance. The video cameras that have captured this thing are unbelievable. All right, let's find out what's going on with the West Hollywood, the Los Angeles City water main that broke.
You get a really good view of what the replacement pipe looks like. When you're this close, you realize just how big the job is.
That's right.
And from LADWP,
whatever,
no word yet on how long it's going to take to make those repairs.
No word. And have you seen photos of it? Have you seen the video of the guys and gals just standing around? There's like 28. I counted them. 28 people from DWP. All of them standing, nobody moving, nobody doing a thing. And I don't know whether they're waiting for a pipe or waiting for, I don't know, the boss to get there. But man, 28 guys and gals, all with those yellow crazy vests, all of them standing, doing nothing.
Well, Los Angeles.
Maybe there's nothing for them to do. That's possible. But if that's the case, then give them the shuffle off to Buffalo where they can do something. Give them another assignment. Down the street, over the hill, down the boulevard, other side of town. Get them going.
The Los Angeles Department of Water and Power have set up this spot for residents to ask about property damage and making claims after what happened here yesterday.
There's going to be a lot of claims. And there's going to be a lot of fraudulent claims as well. A guy who lives nowhere near it. Guy lives in Riverside, but he's popping into town to file a claim.
Today, crews continue to make repairs on the line that burst early yesterday morning. LADWP saying it's removed nearly 200,000 gallons of water from the sinkhole where the line broke.
Okay, so 200,000 gallons of water just in the sinkhole. That's not the millions of gallons of water that rushed down the street into the bus depot there, into Metro's yard. That's 200,000 gallons of water that's just sitting in that hole, in that sinkhole, which I believe is twice the amount of water that they have in an Olympic-sized pool. So when the reporters say thousands of gallons of water rushed down the street, they were misleading you, and they do it on purpose. They do it on purpose. They protect the city of Los Angeles and the city council. They do it. They do it on purpose. Nobody reports. The only one that reports, honestly, about what's going on in City Hall, I'll give it to Eric Leonard. He hits it pretty good. And Michael Monks. Other than that, nobody.
Residents along Palm Avenue continue to deal with the cleanup. Several subterranean garages were still being cleaned out.
It's still crazy.
Mike Williams is one of the Palm Avenue residents who's thanking his lucky stars. His home of nearly 30 years and truck weren't damaged.
Very much I'm lucky. My vehicle was in the shop to be repaired. I suffered no damage at all. But I feel unfortunate for the rest of the people, especially up here and at the very bottom of the hill, which is really bad.
Some other residents like Austin Dale shared with us they felt like they dodged a bullet because they got through it unscathed, but also feeling bad for their neighbors.
It's really sad. Yeah, I saw some people who were very distraught looking at their cars, trying to turn on their cars.
LADW.
Yeah, the electric cars are cooked. You got to replace those. You might be able to clean out a combustion engine vehicle, car that runs on gas, but if you have an electric car that's been submerged, that's a wrap.
LADWP telling us their personnel have made some significant progress on repairs. They didn't offer up how long it would take to finish fixing the pipe and reopening Sunset Boulevard to traffic. And LADWP...
Okay, so when is it going to open?
They didn't offer up how long it would take to finish fixing the pipe.
They don't offer that. That means a long time. That doesn't mean Monday or Tuesday of next week. That means quite a while.
And reopening Sunset Boulevard to traffic. And LADWP reassuring us today that the water flowing through right now is safe.
Okay. All right. Well, I don't know.
Is safe.
Okay. If you want to take their word for it, fine.
Is safe.
The air is safe. The water's safe.
Right.
Everything
Nothing to
is
see.
safe.
Nothing to see here. You're right. After that Boyle Heights fire, in the middle of it, like day 2 or day 3, Mayor Bass said there's no toxins in the air. Everything is safe. It's great. They also said that about Garden Grove. Everything's fine. Everything's safe. If you smell a little sweetness in the air, that's just a gift from us to you. So, and nothing to see here. They all lie to you all the time. All right, okay. Here, let me add another person to that list. Eric Leonard, Michael Monks, and John Colbell. Those are the 3 guys in town that, at least on the top of my mind, that really do a deep dive into how corrupt the city of Los Angeles is. We don't like to do. We like to, do something lighter at night, but once in a while it does get frustrating, especially if you live in the city of LA. The services in LA are dreadful. They can't even keep the lights on. And these water mains break 2-3 times a week. You just don't hear about it in the news because it's not a major one on Sunset Boulevard. They're breaking all the time. But the local news just does not cover it. They they don't cover the news, they cover for the politicians. And they've been doing it for decades.
You're listening to Tim Conway Jr. on demand from KFI AM 640.
All right, let's get some more updates on this West Hollywood flood and the big trunk line, the big main line that busted up. Let's find out if we can get any more information and to help you out, because it truly is a pain in the ass. All right, let's see if we can crank this up here. All right, here we go. Let's find out when they're going to open up Sunset Boulevard and Holloway. If you have any kind of damage, you're going to want to know, who to get in contact with. I think they set up a table, they said, near this event. So if you do live in the area and you've been wiped out, your car is, totaled, water came into your apartment, whatever it is, your sidewalk's been chewed up or your driveway, you got to get in contact with the city of LA because they're on the hook for all of this. And they've got pretty deep pockets. I know they always complain that they have no money because they spend it on, they waste it and steal it a lot. But they should come up with some money for you. This is not your fault. You did everything right. You paid for your car. You paid for the insurance. You paid for, maybe you're leasing a car and you just were sleeping and the city of LA wiped out your car. So they have got to pay for it.
Well, work, it is underway in West Hollywood following that massive water main break. New surveillance video just into Eyewitness News showing the moment the water main ruptured. This is video from Dialogue Cafe on Holloway and Sunset across the intersection.
Yeah, this is the surveillance video. You got to try to find this. Maybe we'll put it up on social media. It is unbelievable.
From where that rupture happened, the timestamp on that video just after 3 a.m. yesterday. You can see the water gush up, and soon after, Colleen, the street looks more like a river.
Wow, unbelievable. Meanwhile, water officials say crews made significant progress in repairing the pipe that caused so much damage. Crews are cutting and removing a 25-foot section of that pipe. And while that is happening, street closures in the area and metro delays continue.
Yes, it's going to continue for quite some time. I read an article last night that they replaced 5,400 feet of pipe last year in the city of Los Angeles. 5,400 feet. So that's a mile. And there's 7,400 miles of pipe that has to be replaced because it's nearly 100 or over 100 years old. So you can do the math on that. 7,400 miles. And they fixed 5,400 feet. 5,400 feet. So that'll be about 7,000 years before they knock this project down. Chris Cristi with ABC was flying over it. Everybody's astonished how much water came out of that hole in the ground.
Crews are continuing around the clock. LADWP overnight, draining upwards of 200,000 gallons from that pipe overnight and working to replace that pipe. And for that reason, Sunset Boulevard remains completely shut down between Sherbourne, Drive and San Vicente Boulevard, with hard closures at Larrabee, Palm Avenue, and Horn Avenue. All of that causing a major traffic headache.
And you know what is going to be horrible? The guys and the gals, the people who own businesses around there, they can't operate. Maybe you have a restaurant, the cleaners, everybody's into the cleaners, a drugstore, whatever it is, a makeup whatever your business is, you can't operate now until they fix this. And it might be, look, I wouldn't be surprised if it's 2 weeks, I mean, I think if you live in Los Angeles long enough, you know that things take a long time in LA to get rolling. Remember that fire at that, that big refrigeration plant, the big freezer in Boyle Heights? They said that fire was going to be out the same day. Started around 2:30, and they said it was out by midnight, and then it burned for 8 more days. So I don't know. I don't know what, if it's just guesswork that's not going well, or they lie to us just to calm us down. They say it's going to be 3 days, and then it's a fourth, it's a fifth, it's a week, it's a week and a half, and then it's 2 weeks.
Here in West Hollywood, you're looking live at Santa Monica Boulevard, where traffic, as we get closer to the rush hour, is really starting to stack up in both directions as you make your way through here. All of that spillover traffic ending up on the surface streets.
Oh, it's going to be a nightmare. Santa Monica, San Vicente, La Cienega, Laurel Canyon, all of those streets are going to be a nightmare until this is done.
Here in West Hollywood, where traffic is a nightmare. Reporting live from Air 7, I'm Chris Cristi.
It's going to be that way until they finish, so get used to it. And I still can't believe the low level of outrage. Nobody seems to be really pissed. Everyone's just like, yeah, that breaks. What the hell? It's 110 years old. They'll get around to it. We'll manage. Nobody holds the local city government to, responsible for anything. They just don't. Nobody blames them for anything. We have just a horrible, horrible group of people running the city of LA. They can't keep the lights on. The streets are all banged up. There's potholes everywhere. Anytime it rains, the city of Los Angeles has extreme flooding, water mains breaking, trees falling. It's a mess. It's a mess. And they go through billions and billions of dollars giving it out to these NGOs and homeless, organizations. And so if you're homeless, you're treated better in the city of LA than if you have a job. That's the bottom line. And so maybe that's the reason why a lot of people turn homeless, right? Because you get treated better in the city of LA.
You're listening to Tim Conway Jr. on demand from KFI AM 640.
We've had a major earthquake in Mexico. Happened early this morning around 7:50 or so. A major earthquake struck off the coast of Mexico, about 30 miles off the coast near Guatemala, the Guatemala border in Mexico. That was this morning, causing a tsunami threat to be issued for the coasts of both countries for a few hours, and then it was canceled. The earthquake happened again at 7:50 or 7:48 Pacific time, and was originally reported as a magnitude 7.4 before being recalculated and reduced to a 7.3. So the earthquake that we had here in Northridge, the last big one that we all remember, was, I think it was a 6.9, 6.8. There's been different numbers over the years, but I think 6.9. So 6.9, 10 times more powerful would be 7. 10 times more powerful would be 7.1. 10 times that would be 7.2, and then 7.3. So you can understand how powerful this earthquake was. Pretty shallow, 6 miles under the earth, or under sea level. And it happened about 30 miles southwest of the Mexico border with Guatemala. The shaking was reported in Guatemala and Mexico, and the United States said the strong shaking could be expected across western Mexico and Guatemala, especially near the coast. And this is the latest in, and this is going to freak you out, especially Deborah Mark. I'm with her on this. We don't like these quakes. This is the Ring of Fire. This is not Ring of Fire adjacent, like Venezuela is. This is our home ring, and bang, it hit, and it's a big one. I don't know what that means for us, but all the experts are predicting that we're going to have the big one in the next 30 years. It could be in 5 minutes. It could be in 29 years, but it's coming. And this scares the hell out of everybody. The Ring of Fire, for people that have no idea what that is, it's a 25,000 mile belt of volcanoes and earthquake zones surrounding the Pacific Ocean. And we're on it. The San Andreas Fault is part of the Ring of Fire. And we're listening to Dr. Lucy Jones. We had her on a couple months ago during a mild quake. And this stuck with me. Two things she said really stuck with me. One, you're going to need water. So I always bang that out on the air. Go get yourself, 15, 20 gallons or half-gallon jugs of water. You're going to need it. And especially if you live in L.A. These water mains break with somebody just driving over it. How about an earthquake that's, 7.8? So you need water. I'd recommend getting it sooner than later. And, just keep it for flushing a toilet, bathing, maybe drinking, whatever you use water for. Boiling water. Maybe you got kids. You got to boil water to, for the formula. But
after that water main break, it made me think, if that happened?
Yeah, that happened with nothing going on.
I know.
They're all going to break.
They're all so old.
Yeah, every one of them is going to break when we have a big earthquake. Every single one of them. So you got to get water. Do you have any water at home, Elaine?
I used to, and then I went through it.
Okay. We've got to get you more water.
Yeah, we do for sure.
There's water in the fridge here. Take a couple of those home tonight. It's a starter set, for you. Okay, so that's one. You need water. And then the second one, which is kind of scary, Dr. Lucy Jones told us this on the air. She said when the big one hits Los Angeles and Southern California, nobody living in California, especially Southern California, nobody will say, hey, is this the big one? Nobody. We'll all know it instantly. She said it could be 100 to 120 seconds, 2 straight minutes of radical shaking where you can't stand, you can't walk, buildings falling down, fires started, water mains breaking, and streets buckling. It's going to be a mess.
That maybe would be the one thing that I'll go back to Texas.
Right.
Yeah, that's crazy because remember that earthquake we had a couple of years ago on July 4th?
Yes, I remember that.
So
absolutely.
I was outside when that happened, and I mean, in Orange County, we weren't even close to the epicenter, but it was shaking hard enough that I felt like, oh my gosh, should I sit on the ground or something? Because it felt like it was going to knock me over.
Yeah, isn't it a bit weird being outside for a quake?
When that happened to me, I was walking by the pool at my complex. I'm like, why is the water splashing like that?
Oh, yeah.
I didn't get it. It didn't hit me until people were going, earthquake.
Yeah, it does, and you don't quite get it instantly. And then when you do, you're like, oh, Christ, please stop. That's the only thing you say when please slow down. Please stop. Please.
They're terrifying.
They are. After that Northridge quake, I slept with my pants on, my socks on, and my shirt on, and my shoes next to the bed, ready to go for about 4 months. 4 or 5 months.
Yeah, I do that too. And then I forget. Like the water. The water goes away.
I know. You got to get water. Angel, do you have water at home?
You know it.
How many gallons of water do you have?
Currently, maybe 15.
Wow. Okay.
That's a lot.
Someone's going to be knocking on that door.
I'm going to her house.
Yeah. I'll be sliding over there.
Gotta know where I live first.
I can find out.
Yeah, but also if you have a generator, that may or may not work. If it's on natural gas, those lines will probably be shut off as well. So you got that to look forward to. But I don't want to bang on everybody to get an earthquake kit, but you're going to feel better if you have one. All right, you get one if you want, but we have one, and I feel better at night knowing where it is. And we got, 3, 4, 5 days of really crappy food that we can eat, that dried stuff.
I mean to get those life straws also. Have you seen those?
Oh, yeah. You can put in dirty water and drink the clean water. Mm-hmm. That's a great idea. Yeah, that is an awesome idea.
I'm ordering those.
I have a bunch of those, too.
Look at you.
That'll be me. Sticking one of those straws in the toilet and sipping away.
Oh.
That's my life. There it is right there. The straw in the toilet. All right. Ding dong.
You're listening to Tim Conway Jr. on demand from KFI AM 640.
One more story, not to freak you out, but you have got to be aware of the potential of a major earthquake. And the San Andreas Fault, if that blows, you are going to be radically affected, perhaps for the rest of your life. So you've got to be aware of this. And, the more information you have, the easier it is going to be to handle this emergency. They're giving us plenty of warning. We've had, decades of warning. They've been talking about this San Andreas Fault since I was a kid. I mean, literally, 40, 50 years of hearing about it. And so we can't say that we weren't warned. It is coming. And this fault is showing tremendous stress. So please listen carefully. Don't flip out. Don't freak out. Take precautions. That's how you survive in life with everything.
The San Andreas Fault is California's longest fault. And
I need more energy out of this guy. He's talking about something that could wipe out, 30,000 people and 15,000 buildings, and people could get swallowed up by the earth. This guy's talking before his morning coffee.
The San Andreas Fault is California's longest fault.
No, I need another guy. Bring in the other guy. Bring in the guy on coke or crack or something. The guy's really amped up.
And runs for 800 miles, moving up from the Coachella Valley through the Cajon Pass, past the San Bernardino and San Gabriel Mountains, past the Grapevine and the Coast Ranges, en route to the edge of Silicon Valley.
Guy's about to pass out.
And near the Golden Gate. But perhaps the most unnerving thing about the San Andreas is its silence.
Yes, like you.
The San Andreas Fault in Los Angeles County usually has big earthquakes every 100 to 150 years.
Okay, did you hear that? I know sometimes you half-ass radio, so do I. About 100 to 150 years. That's our window. And then we get another 100 or 150 years off. We don't have to worry about it. Some people, like my dad, was born and was raised in Ohio, then moved to California, lived his whole life, and never experienced the big blow from San Andreas Fault. So did my mom, and so did my uncle, and so did many people. They were born, they lived their life, and they died without experiencing it. We may not be so lucky.
Yet it's been 169 years since the last big quake.
Okay, we're 69 years behind if it's once every 100 years. If it's one every 150 years, we're, do the math, 19 years behind.
A huge quake like the...
How big is he talking? Because we've had over 7-pointers here in Los Angeles within the past 50 years.
Yeah, he's talking to 58.5.
Jeez.
No, I don't know. But I think it's going to be that big. But I think, look, I'm pretty proud. I know I get a lot of emails saying, why are you so pro-American and pro-California and pro-Burbank and stuff like that? Because what's the alternative? To S on everything all the time? I don't like that. I love this country. I love the people in this country. I think we have the greatest people in the world in this country. When I walk around and people, you go to Starbucks, whatever, and you hold the door for somebody and that person says thank you. I love that moment. I love those small little moments in life. I do it all the time. People do it to me as well. When I'm in a grocery store and somebody's looking at a product and I got to go between the product and them, I got to slither through. I always say, pardon me. And the guy or the gal, 99% of the time goes, oh, you're good. Or, no problem. Oh, thanks. I like those little tiny moments. We live in a great country with a lot of great people. The greatest thing about this country, it's not the land. It's not what we have. It's not the buildings. It's the people. We have the greatest people in the world in this country. I love Americans. I don't care if you're Republican or Democrat or, somewhere in between. We have the greatest people in this country. I love the people in this country more than any other place in the world. That's why I live here. And so in getting back to that, we do have a great country, but we also have our challenges. And this is going to be a major one. That's why I keep talking about it. I know a lot of people don't like to hear it, day in and day out. But I think the more we talk about it, the more people are prepared for it, the more information you have. And I think we have great building codes in this country. And I think especially in Southern California, you can S all over LA and whatever city you live in, but they've done a great job, especially Burbank, I've noticed, because I live here. They've done an unbelievable job with the building codes and making sure that your house is retrofitted and you're set for the next quake. So to all the building inspectors out there, I know you guys always, you only hear bad news about you. I want to thank you personally for going out there and making sure that people are adhering to those building codes. And when the big one hits, those people should get a parade. We're live on KFI AM 640.
This is KFI.
This has been The Conway Show on demand on the iHeartRadio app. The Year is live. Join us on KFI AM 640, weeknights 6 to 10 p.m., Monday through Friday. Ding dong with this app.